Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Phil Risher, and on today's episode, we're going to be discussing how to build a referral program for your service business with Kendall Hines. Kendall, thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, Kendall and I, we connected on LinkedIn, and I referred some people to him, and the companies that we work with, they came back and were like, yeah, this is going to solve our problem. So then I'm like, hey, man, you got to come on our show. He's the owner of Clicky. And he also started in the lawn care space. So he has both sides of the equation, which I always appreciate that because I'm the same way. So, Kendall, can you tell us a little bit about how you got into home service space and came up with this idea?
Yeah, well, probably I started like many of people listening to this podcast. I grew up with my dad. He started a lawn care company, and since I was 8 years old, I was out there with him, like on the lawns, like helping him treat lawns and stuff. And one of the things that he was missing in his business, he was always the technical guy, like doing lawns perfect and like really making customers happy. But the thing that was kind of missing was the sales and marketing. So I grew up my whole life, like seeing bigger companies than we were. And I was like, well, why are they bigger than us when we have a better product? And it was because they didn't know about us. So I think it was at like 21, I like dropped out of school, ended up coming home and just like, you know what? My parents were really good to me and I don't have much going for me. So I'm just going to commit my life to helping them
Mm-hmm.
and helping their business grow. And I just committed to learning everything about selling lawn care. So I, found the industry leaders, reached out to them. They taught me how to sell lawn care. This all kind of leads into the referral story, by the way.
Yeah.
But so I learned, so we went from 90 accounts to 300, 300 to 600, 600 to I think 1200, 1200 to 1500. That business today is doing 1.6 million in revenue. During that time, me and a partner, I actually bought it from my parents. So retired my parents. We ran it for 2 years. And then during that time, we got so good at generating leads that we were like, whoa, like we have more demand than we can service. We would wake up in the morning and have like 30 Facebook leads come in. Just one example, plus the website leads, plus everything else. And
Yeah.
if you're in a seasonal business, like there's these power windows that just get crazy and nuts.
Yep.
So we built a tool called LawnBot, and that is basically e-commerce online shopping for lawn care, pest control, HVAC companies. You might have seen it. It's now called ServiceBot. So we grew that business, that software company, really quickly. Um, we had probably 150, 200 clients when we ended up getting acquired by a CRM called Real Green Systems. And 6 months later, a bigger company came in. I've learned a lot in the
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
like 5 years. 6 months later, a bigger company comes in and buys the whole damn thing called WorkWave. And I'm sure many
Yeah.
listening either know or have seen them. So indirectly, WorkWave ended up buying our company. It's now called ServiceBot. They're rolling it out to all their pest control, HVAC, home cleaning clients, and so that was the
Yeah.
second company. Um, and it introduced me to software. I was like, wow, like I really enjoy software and the sales and marketing aspect of growing a business. And so I worked at Workwave for 2 years, learned how corporate kind of works, and enjoyed my time there. And then with some of the proceeds from that exit, we started a brand called Moshalash. So it's like how does lawn care and beauty fit together? And I promise you it does. It's like the same customer, the same woman getting her lashes done is the same woman that's ordering lawn care for her home and calling to get her HVAC tuned up. It's the same woman. They have disposable income. I know because the customers at my lawn care business at Lawn Doctor also saw my wife at the Lash and Brow
Yeah.
Studio.
That's
So
your wife's business you mentioned on
yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah, and it was really interesting to me. So that leads me to today, where it's like, okay, left WorkWave about 2 years later after the exit. We did the martial ash thing. We were spending about 5,000 a month on face or Google ads, and I'm sure this is the case for a lot of people listening. Is if you want to grow a business today, you need to go spend money on marketing, um, word of mouth. is only going to get you so far. At some point, you need to scale. You need to have predictable lead sources. So we were paying Google 5,000 a month, and it was working. But also, like, who loves paying Google? Almost nobody.
Exactly.
You're like, nobody's raising their hand and saying, "Yeah, I want to pay more money to Google." And the
Yep.
thing about it is if you've been in the game a while, you understand that the cost has just been going up and up because they basically pit you and your competition against one another. You're bidding for the
Dating.
same keywords, the same spot. The only person winning at the end of the day is Google.
Correct.
So I'm like, uh, I would much rather just pay this cash, this like money we're giving to Google and Meta to my customers instead. And that was the birth of the idea for Clicky. And it literally started like pay per click. And I gave all of our customers links and said, "Hey, we'll pay you $1 for every click. We're paying Google. We might as well pay you."
Mm.
And it was actually geofenced to our area, so you're not paying, outside of that geofence, and you're only paying for humans, like verified humans, one time.
Wow.
And people posted their links and they cashed out. So I am like sending hundreds of Venmos to people, and I'm like, holy crap, this could be like a really, I think this could work.
Yeah.
And with doing that, I realized just from talking to people, they're like, "Oh, that's cool. Like, can I use it in my business?" Um, they wanted a full integrated system. So, like, okay, you have the link, but what happens when they click on the link? What do they see?
Right.
And then you start looking at, or I started recognizing like Tesla has these programs, Chase, Capital One. They're very common in like other industries where
Yeah.
brands give their customers these referral links, and they can earn different things for sharing their referral link with friends and family. But we also realized like there needs to be a system here to where, yes, you can generate referrals by sharing your link, but you can also generate them by submitting them via we call it the promoter app, like what your customers actually use and log into and get their link and cash out. It's like the home for referrals for your business and the people that are involved in these campaigns. So that led us to building Clicky, and like, wow, we need to own everything. So we own generating the links, hooking up to the business, designing the landing pages, like helping people set the budget, like what templates and words to use, like when to like launch this in your business. And today we've got over 120 companies now, and we've learned a lot, and we're really excited about the roadmap because we think there's a bigger opportunity here, and that's to help. If you're listening to this business, or if you're listening to this podcast, then you probably have people in your market that don't compete with you, but you guys probably trade business today. And like, how
Exactly.
can we incentivize that even more and build kind of this ecosystem? Because everybody has to go pay Google and Facebook today, and we would think it would be a pretty cool world if that wasn't the case. And like when you think about a P&L, it's like the biggest cost for most of us is like labor, and then like the second biggest cost is like S&M, sales and marketing. So if we can direct that sales and marketing cost to our employees and
That's
our
right.
customers, and maybe even other businesses that are nearby you, um, that could
Yeah.
be a really interesting world. And
So I want to dive in. Yeah, I want to dive in here on these things. So when we talk about building a referral program, you mentioned pay per click of like literally, hey, click on this link and then I'll pay you a referral. What have you seen as best practices for referrals? Because a lot of people would say, I don't want to pay until I actually close the job because I don't want to get bad leads. Or is it pay per lead, pay
yeah,
per click? What does that look like?
so I think what I've learned is clients get really creative with their referral schemes, and we basically have, I guess, summarized it as reward triggers. So now on Clicky, there's multiple reward triggers. We started
Mm,
out with pay per click. We now have pay per lead, which is like somebody fills out a form and you give your technician a $10 bonus, and then
mm,
pay per conversion. So that like when that lead actually has a completed job in, let's say, House Call Pro or Service Titan, then that bonus would be automatically rewarded to whoever generated the referral.
mm.
So you can use a combination of those. You can use just one or two of them. the logic behind pay per click, it's super innovative and nobody else is really doing it, is you're creating those little dopamine hits for people along the way. They post their link, they wake up tomorrow morning, there's $5 in their account versus like zero.
Yeah.
So we're also experimenting a little bit with loyalty right now, which is really exciting. Where giving clients cash back. But here's the kicker: they have to go into your referral program to get the cash back bonus. Well, that's exactly where we want them. We want them to see how easy it is to get paid. We want them to see how easy it is to submit referrals, because the biggest challenge we have is most consumers, most homeowners aren't used to this. Like most companies, their referral program is like a spreadsheet and like pissed off customers calling them saying they never got their bonus. So
yeah. So I have a story about this, and I want to get your use case on this. So I used to be director of business development at an air duct cleaning company. They were about $3 million.
yeah,
They had 36 Google reviews and were spending $1,000 on Google. Their entire business was built off of HVAC contractor referrals. So it was all spreadsheets, all this stuff. They would track conversions and all this, and they would give for any closed job, they would give them like $100 when they got to 10 things or whatever. They got a $100 gift card or something like that.
yeah.
So we talk a lot about on this channel building B2B referral partners. You're an HVAC contractor, partner with electrician. You're a lawn care company, partner with a gutter cleaning company, or vice versa. So how could someone build this out in that instance of like a B2B partnership and enabling the technicians to go out and sell for you, basically?
Yeah. I think what's really cool about Clicky is we have this concept of campaigns. And campaigns are really around the persona of the person sharing you. So in your specific example, what I would do is I'd create a campaign for my customers. I'd create a campaign for my employees, and I'd create a campaign. You could even create a campaign for each one of your HVAC partners. Let's say you're doing air duct cleaning. You could create one for service professor,
Yeah.
right? For all of their
Techs,
office ladies, anybody at their company. It could be a promoter in this campaign. You could set a custom budget for this campaign. You can set a custom service area for this campaign, custom landing pages, so that like when people click these links, it says service professor loves Kendall's air duct cleaning. Like there's no better, like I know service professor, I trust them. And now I'm seeing your logo right there, and boom, I get a special offer, by the way, since I'm a service professor client. So really, I think it really just systematizes and automates it and allows you to scale these programs. And then I think what's really cool and kind of the missing piece was we call them promoters. That's anybody that has a referral link. And they can actually see the status of their referrals as well. So they can see, hey, I submitted Tom, Jill, and Bob, and they have not signed up yet. But when they do, I'm going to get my bonus, and this is how much it's going to be. And it really just tucks them in and lets them know that, hey, we have a system in place here. And we think that transparency builds trust. And ultimately, you're not worried about people calling your office asking, did I get my credit yet?
Exactly.
That's the last thing we want, because if they're doing that, then they probably just lost trust in your program. But I feel that pain point. Like when I was running my lawn care company, we during the off season, we would go get lunches with landscapers and grass cutters companies. We had 30 grass cutter referral partners, and it would always end the same. Like we'd exchange business cards. Yeah, I'll refer you, whatever. And then the season gets busy, and then you just don't. And
Exactly.
you forget about it. There's no system in place, right?
Exactly.
So if I could go back and do it all over again and say, hey, we have this awesome referral system for our partners. We pay you $100 a conversion, $50 a lead, whatever it is. And here's your referral link. I just signed you up. You just got a text, right? Yep. Share that with friends and family, add it on social media, put it in your newsletter. We don't care. Like we have to pay somebody for advertising. We much rather pay our partners and customers, employees than Google and Meta. So.
Yeah. So a good use case for this, which we talk about, is like find your referral partners, contact them, set up, dig donuts over there, educate them about your product or service. If you were to set up a program like this, have everyone sign up to become a promoter for you, then they have the collateral so that when they go out, they can submit referrals. So when they go to this landing page and submit a referral, it's just like a web form that would come through, basically like as if they were to go to their website, but it would be a web form that they would get. An email
Yeah,
notification, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah. I think what's really cool about Clicky is you actually it's all drag and drop. Think like Mailchimp or Constant Contact or any of
Yeah.
these other email builders you use. But it's a landing page builder, and you can design it yourself. So if you have, let's say, we have a partner program with 100 partners in there, HVAC partners, and we shoot a new video for our company that we want to put on this landing page. We just go into Clicky, go into that landing page, add a video block, drop the video, click save. Now it's across all 100 referral links. I don't have to go issue them all new links. I think what's really interesting is the content is dynamic and can change in real time, but the links stay the same, which
Yeah.
is pretty awesome.
Exactly.
Especially if you have a big program, you can iterate on your offer. You can try different things, add Google reviews, lots of different
Yeah.
things, and it's pretty
So
awesome.
yeah, I think it's pretty sweet. So another use case for this would be for your like retail COD type customers. They after the invoice is complete or something, then you could say, "Hey, sign up for a referral partnership program, whatever," and then they sign up, and then it's just like that's like a normal referral that you would someone would get. Is that how
Yeah,
they would use it?
yeah, totally. So what's interesting, you could go the sign up path for sure if you want to be a little more curated. What we like to do is auto enroll people,
Mm,
so that they don't have to think about it. Like if the more steps we can remove between like signing up and generating a referral, the better.
yeah.
So
You
like at
you you
Clicky,
you actually auto enrolled me when I messaged you on LinkedIn and you're
oh
like, "Hey,
yeah,
what's your phone number and email?" And I was like, "Here you go." And then I got a notification like, "Hey, I guess I'm enrolled in their program." But it you're absolutely right because it's easy. Then I'm like, "Oh, cool. Okay, let me send
yeah.
this out to some people."
It's just done. Like we send money to people, like just drop bonuses in people's account.
Yeah,
That's another cool feature is manual bonuses where you can just send money to people
yeah,
for your offline referrals, which is a great example. Like at the beginning of this, I said we become the referral system for your business. Well, when we launch in your company, you're still going to have the old fashioned referrals. Like people will call you on the phone. They're like, "Hey, Timmy referred me." Okay, great.
yeah.
How do I get Timmy his bonus? Am I still going to go
Mm,
write a check? Am I still going to send a Visa gift card?
mm,
We think you should send that money through Clicky.
mm.
Now Timmy has to go into your referral app to get his money. And when he's in there, he now has his referral link waiting for him and he can submit more referrals.
Yeah, it's
So it
good.
creates this kind of like flywheel effect, which we didn't like design it that way. It just happened because we built this feature for a customer that was tired of sending Visa gift cards, still, even though they had Clicky for non digital referrals. So yeah, I like the auto enroll path. At Clicky, we use Clicky to grow Clicky.
Yeah.
So when in our pipeline, when it goes to closed one or live, I can't remember exactly which one, they get auto enrolled in our affiliate ambassador program,
Mm.
issued a link, and then what's funny is I forgot we made this change recently, and there's a guy in the Christmas light space who's got a pretty big following, and he like got his link
Is it
already generated.
Donovan?
Like, what's
Donovan?
that?
Donovan?
No,
Oh,
apparently
okay.
there's a lot of Christmas
Yeah,
light
there's a
info.
lot of guys out there.
JC,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I know him.
and he posted his link and said, "Hey, we're using them." And what's cool is he just signed up a few days ago. So he like
Oh, wow.
signed up. Our team built it out. He's live. Got
Yeah.
his referral link. Started sharing, and now he generated like 6 opportunities
Yeah.
for Clicky, which is awesome. But yeah, I love the auto enroll path because that kind of removes a step of needing to sign up and you know
Another
makes
thing
it.
that was cool. So I actually referred someone to y'all before getting the referral link. And I guess maybe through the process, they asked, "How did you hear about us?" And they said Flash. And then it still got partnered up with my referral thing. It's not like they had to go, like kind of what you're saying. Obviously, you would want for people to go through your referral link, but if they were to not go through it and you could still pair it up, which that's what you're mentioning.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, this is like a you have to kind of be all in on
Yeah,
referrals to make it work because people have programs now and it's an afterthought. They put it
exactly.
at the footer of an email and then you ask them like, "How's your program going?" And they're like, "Not really that good. It's not really a big driver in our business." And
Yeah.
so I think to really make this work in your business, it needs to be like embedded into every fabric. So in that example, like every demo we do, we ask them how they heard about us, and they said you, and we went
Yeah,
and added that referral to your account so that it got logged under you, so that you would see that and feel it. And then if they convert, obviously you'll
exactly.
get, like, we want to pay our customers. Like, we have to pay somebody. Like right now we're paying Facebook $2,000 a month for ads. And it's like, I'd much rather just pay
Pay
our
other people.
customers, pay our partners and affiliates. So
Yeah, it's such a good way to look at it, and I think business owners would say the same thing. It's just they don't really know how to go about it. Could you walk through so like an onboarding process when you're building out a new referral program? Most people, like you said, it's kind of shotgun approach. I listen to this podcast and like I'm gonna go try this myself. But what does like a good rollout look like with like your team, that digital assets that you need and stuff? Is there like a basic outline of things?
yeah, I think where companies really lean on us today is how much should we pay?
Mm,
And what is that? Like, what's best practices for payment? Um, and we always like to start at, this is like a pretty advanced conversation. But so we like to start at like average ticket, customer lifetime value, current customer acquisition costs. Like, some businesses might not know that today. And if you don't, I would really, we're kind of at the end of the year. I would really dig into that and
so
figure out, like, how many new sales do we make this year? How much do we spend on sales and marketing? Okay, let's divide those two. Now we have our customer acquisition cost. Um,
if
if you're
someone is like
recur,
500 average ticket, lifetime value like 5,000, what do you think is like good numbers for that?
I would take those two numbers into account. So those are pretty healthy. And the other thing I would say, ask them is, how much are you spending today to acquire a new customer?
Let's say like $80,
Well,
100
I don't know if
bucks.
there's anybody acquiring customers for, if they're acquiring customers for $80, then they're not spending money on Google or Facebook today, or some of the more expensive, what we typically see, like a lawn
Yeah.
care company in Georgia, um, Liquid Lawn.
Hmm.
They're paying like $250, $300 to acquire a customer today.
Okay.
Is what they told us. So their referral bonus is based off of that. So I think
Hmm.
they pay out 150 or $200 as a referral bonus to their customers. But their LTV makes sense. They do like 9 applications a year. Their ACV, annual contract value, is probably around $1,500 a year,
Yep.
and then they're going to upsell them as well. So for recurring models, that makes a lot of sense. A LASIK doctor who sells LASIK for $9,000 is like $100, 150. I think it really comes down to whatever you know the business feels comfortable with, and once you understand it from the customer acquisition cost point of view,
Yes. Yes.
it gets really easy. But like $25 is not
It's not going to
worth
cut it.
worth it today. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
inflation or what, but $25 ain't what it used to be. And I think it's really interesting around even having this thought of reward triggers. So paying $10 a lead, which for every qualified name, email, phone number, they're getting a $10 bonus in their account.
Yeah.
And then when that person converts, they get another $30. I think it's really
Mm.
incentivizing like what we want, and that's them to post the link as much as possible.
Yeah.
But we also want to keep the program top of mind, which is why we have this pay-per-click concept of where they could be earning
Exactly.
money every time they just go and post their link. So
Yeah. And I think like if you set it at 150, you could kind of build in that $10, $5 a click,
yeah,
$30 a thing, and then close the deal. And it's all 150 basically if you work backwards.
totally. And I think that's what's the interesting part about this is, when I ask an owner, it's like, would you trade $150 or $200 for a guaranteed new customer? Most people
Yeah.
would say, yeah, heck yeah, because I'm doing direct mail and billboards and all this
Exactly.
shit. And it's like, I think what's really, you said the persona of person listening to this is doing 1 to 10 million or something
Yeah.
like that. And all of those people know is like, for me to double my company every year, I'm going to need to spend money on sales and marketing and
Yep.
advertising. Like, that's the only way. Um,
Exactly.
so if that is true, then like how do we lower that cost when it's just continuing to get more and more expensive? Um, and
And
find
leverage our
new
happy
way.
customers. Yeah.
Yeah. And not pay Angie's List and home advice. I mean, like,
Yeah. No, I get that.
yeah.
So that's kind of like structuring your program. But then as far as like the rollout, do you have like a team meeting with your CSRs and like all this and like, or you just kind of, is there a game plan for rolling it out to, or,
Yeah. We, unfortunately or fortunately, we've become the referral
exactly.
wizards here.
Yeah, exactly.
And we've learned it the hard way. We've had companies sign up and then just like launch it at midnight. And we're like, what are you doing? Or like,
That's
what
what
are
I'm
you
getting
doing?
at. Like people are so sporadic with what they decide.
Like they do a 2,000 person CSV upload at like midnight and they wonder why people didn't like get it. Or so we, uh, we have a lot of best practices that we take people through. One of them is like you just mentioned, like if you're going to launch this referral system in your business, your team probably needs to know about it. Um, Here's some FAQs you can send out internally so everybody on your team, depending on how big it
Mm,
is on the same page. Step further than that is we like to do a launch call. Like we want you and your managers in that call to understand the program, how to communicate it to clients. Another kind of best practice is to create an employee campaign so your employees can actually see it and feel it and touch it and be able to talk confidently to customers about it so that when they're on the phone with somebody who's just thrilled and like, oh my God, you guys are amazing. I'm so happy I found you. Oh, did you know about our referral program?
mm,
Like we pay you $100 cash for every customer you send our way, like cash, no strings attached, cash out to Venmo, ACH, whatever. I'm going to send you your link right now. And you post it to Facebook, Nextdoor, LinkedIn, wherever. We don't care. We have to pay money to somebody. We want to pay it to you. And so we see that to be really interesting. But yeah, there's like, we have this list of like 12 best practices. That
nice.
part of it is on it, getting your employees involved, making sure this is embedded to every fabric of your business. It's on your website in the header and the footer. It's right next to the request a quote thing so that, from the beginning of the client experience, they're being exposed to this and like
Yeah.
whether it's subliminally or whatever, like they can see that
Yeah.
this thing exists. And I'm in an HOA group like with 900 of my neighbors. Maybe they need their HVAC tuned up or air duct cleaning or their lawn care done, and maybe I could get my service for free if I just go and post there once. So
Exactly.
we see that really interesting too with like door to door businesses. You think if you have reps out there knocking, they're in a neighborhood, they just win a deal, they're at the door and they enroll the person right in the program at the door.
Yeah.
And now, while that person's in the neighborhood, they have somebody that goes and posts on Facebook or whatever and is getting them more leads.
Exactly. Yeah. Coach them on how to do it. Quick question. What about when people say like, "Hey, I mean, this is all great, but do I cap out my budget? Like, how do I know it's not going to spend infinite amount of money?"
Yeah, we just haven't had that problem with anybody
Okay.
yet, that has been worried about. Um, we've also haven't had like a runaway budget. Typically, most
Mm,
of our customers pay on conversion.
mm,
Um, so there's really not an issue. That's like a good problem to have. If they have a runaway
yeah.
budget, that means they're getting a lot of new customers, and
Yeah.
that's good for everybody.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, this has been great. I mean, a lot of great information here, and I think who wouldn't want to sign up for something like this, in my opinion, because it sounds like it would transform a lot of businesses. Where should people go to learn more about Clicky and sign up?
Yeah, joinclicky.com. It's joinclicki.com. So
Nice.
joinclicky.com. And you can book a demo or you can sign up online and get
Nice.
started that way. Most companies go live now in a couple days. It's really
Oh,
up
wow.
to how fast you want to move and then also like what sort of integrations you want. A lot of our customers like to hook it up to their CRM. So
Mm.
House Call Pro, Jobber, Service Titan. We have an API and webhooks on our side, so you can really hook it up to whatever you want.
Oh, wow.
HubSpot, high level, whatever, and really automate every part of the experience.
Yeah. Nice, man. Well, this has been great getting to know you, and I appreciate all the wisdom and foresight into this. Look forward to keeping in touch, and thanks for your time.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.